I have to share a day in court, today's date, which is Tuesday, June the 25th. Menachem Mendel Deutsch came to court, and he had a felony, he had misdemeanor. He took 2 children down in belts on 15th Avenue, children that he doesn't know. They came home from school innocently at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. He took them down and said, I need help to pack away some books, Jewish books. He molested them. Who knows what he did? They were supposed to give him a 2-year jail sentence plus 10 years to be on probation. Then they gave him such a sweet deal, 6 months to go to jail, and then he has his 10 years probation and is registered sex offender. I don't know for how long. You know, we, the people, are fighting constantly for the well-being and for the safety of these children. They shouldn't be molested. It's an unbelievable situation of how low in dignity we were, the Jewish rabbis, the Jewish teachers, the counselors. They wouldn't molest anybody that comes under their hand, just as if there was no rule that you should not molest her, or just as if it would be a mitzvah, a good deed to molest a child. That's how this community looked like. When I used to say 1 out of 5 children are molested by teachers, and I said 1 out of 2 are molested in mikveh, now that everybody's talking, it came out that it's different figures. We can say that almost every child that went through the system from pre-1A or from kindergarten till after the yeshiva years, there is hardly to find a person that was not molested, unfortunately. It was a joke of what went on. And in the mikvahs, it's the same thing. Almost everybody was molested. It's unbelievable. Now, we went into the fight. I went in about 13, 14 years ago. I wrote letters to the rabbis. They ignored me for 5, 6 years. Then I opened the hotline to reach the public and to educate the parents and the children of what's happening. So the rabbis put an ostracization on me, and they thought that in 2 weeks I'll be running for my life into Pakistan. It's a shame. This is a hate crime, but I will talk about this some other time. But let's come back to what's happening. So now finally, after a lot of hard work, people are coming forward. But we have rotten beams in the justice system, and it's unbelievable. People walk away with sweet deals like they didn't do anything. Every place there is a Jewish community and there is a black vote, the rabbis can do whatever they want. They can ostracize anybody they want. They can make anybody keep quiet. They can even make Mr. Charles Hines do whatever they want. They want his office. And this is a shame. So they take this boy, child molester, Menachem Mendel Deutsch, and they give him a sweet deal, 6 months in prison, and then he's out. Now, the minimum for a felony, which he had 1 felony, he had more than that, but they diminished it, and they made everything to be only for 1 felony, and for 1 misdemeanor. The minimum for a felony is 2 3/4 years. So how does he walk with 6 months? That's unbelievable. So a lot of people tell me, don't worry about it to be a registered sex offender. That will not help anything. I have inside information that Mr. Moshe Turner, who is a registered sex offender in Rockland County, is davening in shoes. He's going into mikvahs. In the Jewish community, nobody will say a word. First of all, most people don't even know that he's a registered sex offender, and then they won't say a word because they're afraid there'll be an ostracization. So that doesn't help us. The other thing is that he's going to be on probation, and he's going to have to go for help. Let me tell you something. That help is the biggest con job that there is. We have somebody, Jerry Browner, who molested children 1 by 1, day by day. He went to Ohio. He went for his checkup. He took his medication. He flushed it in the bathroom, and he was raping children again. And every time he comes to court, he puts down the bottle. He says to the judge, you see, I have problems. I go for help. Ohio was a revolving door for pedophiles. They would walk in and walk out. So this doesn't help us either. They're going to the Jewish people for help, and everybody's afraid to speak up. There was 1 person that started to be the whistleblower what's happening in Ohio, and they kicked him out. He's not there anymore. He's struggling to make ends meet. So what is really happening? Doesn't Mr. Charles Hines see that it's corrupting a whole community? Doesn't the law system see what he's doing? Every second day there's another newspaper what he did. He sent somebody into jail and he's innocent, and another person, and a third person, and a fourth person. What is this dealing business? Now, a week ago, he was supposed to get 2 years in prison, and his lawyer was Mr. Izzy Fried. Straightforward. All of a sudden, there was another lawyer that came in this morning, and they were waiting for him because he also wanted to be in it, and he is Mr. Adela. He's the one that's reading the whole Baruch Mordechai Leibowitz case. He comes in all these cases, and all the lawyers say behind his back, he is the cash man for Mr. Charles Hines. He has his corrupted people inside, and they drive deals. How do you drive a deal? A person pulled out 3 boys in a synagogue in the basement to molest them. And he works with 6 months. Now, I say 3, there was only 2. The third one was a rabbinic grandson from 2 sides, and these rabbis are afraid to come forward because they'll burn down their synagogue. We still live in 1913 Stalin's times in the United States. We're worried about civil rights in Iran. We're worried about civil rights all over the world. We don't have civil rights in Brooklyn. Where's the American Civil Liberties Union to step in here? Where's the federal government to step in here? What kind of deal is this? Is there a law of felony that deserves minimum 2 3/4 years? Why do these people walk away? And I want you to know, we're going to keep on fighting. And if we need to fight the lawyer, Mr. Adela, also, we'll fight the whole gang. I want to ask you a question. Baruch Mordechai Leibowitz walked out of a prison after he was supposed to be there for 32 years? What happened? Mr. Adela came in and another lawyer, Mr. Aaron Dershowitz? I don't understand this. Was there a deal that Mr. Ben Ashkenazi will be on the stand or not? If there was a deal, which I heard that there was a deal, but I did not let me understand, then these 2 lawyers turned over the whole thing, and they didn't want to accept the deal after Mr. Leibowitz was long arrested. I don't understand this. Something went wrong here. We need an explanation. Was it that the detective didn't give over the papers on time? Was it a mistake, or was it done purposely? If it was a mistake, he should be fired. He's still a detective. If it was done purposely, he should go to jail. And if the government made a mistake, they should suffer the consequences, not to redo a trial. Now they're trying to say that a third person wanted to take money, and now it's coming out that it's not true. This whole thing does not make sense, and I want to ask the world a question. Any person that gets arrested in jail cannot do the same thing? Why don't they call Mr. Adela and Mr. Aaron Dershowitz? I understand not. Where is the world to look at this and don't say anything? Why doesn't the whole world start to scream? There were so many mafia people who went to jail, who died in jail. Why are they not doing the same tactic? Especially if it's a Brooklyn case. It's unbelievable. We have to give out our cry. We can't take this anymore. It comes to a point where to molest a child is almost a mitzvah in our community, and the estimate, the terror and the intimidation of victims and witnesses and activists is unbelievable. Take a look at me. I'm ostracized from every shul worldwide. Why? Because 38 lousy rabbis who collected millions of dollars on sex crimes wanted me to stop to educate the people. And this is mind-boggling. It went on for almost 40 years under the name of Mishmeres Atzmius, and they were the ones that went to the rabbis to try to get me down. And this is a strictly hate crime. I feel the FBI should get involved in this. They should ask these rabbis, under what right did you ostracize a person? They didn't even sit down to talk to me. What a shame what's going on here. Stalin 1930, Williamsburg 2013, Stalin in Russia, Mr. Charles Hines, Honorable Charles Hines in Brooklyn. Thank you very much.